Welcome on back to Up North at 4. Joining us now, it's Patrick Burns from Nicolet College, and in just a few weeks, the annual Earth Day Sustainability Fair will be taking place at Nicolet College. And Patrick, as a member of the co-chair, you kind of know everything about this. You've got your hands in the planning process, and every year there's a theme for the Earth Day Fair. What's the theme this year?
So the theme this year has to do with water. So no blue, no green is the theme, because water, it's kind of important. So that's the focus of our speakers this year, is around water-related topics. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of different things we can talk about with water. You know, PFAS will be a topic of conversation, as well as shoreline stewardship. So we have a lot of different kind of looks at the topic of water.
Now, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, Jeff, but you said no blue, no green. Is that correct? What does that mean?
Right, so the connection between, you know, you think of Earth Day, you think of, you know, green things, plants, but water actually sustains a lot of the, you know, the growth and the things that are green have to do with water.
Okay. Well, let's go back in time a bit, because Gaylord Nelson, Wisconsin senator back in 1970, has its roots with Earth Day in Wisconsin. You know, back then there was no EPA, no Environmental Protection Agency, no water rights, and then Earth Day kind of blossomed from there, right? And now here we are, how many years later, talking about and still keeping the sustainability thing going, right? And that's important to Nicolet and important to you. How come?
Yeah, I think the Wisconsin connection is really important, and that's why we've always felt that we wanted to have an event on Earth Day. So each year we celebrate on April 22nd, and we've been really excited to be back at Nicolet College. So we've been running the event for about over a decade now. And so making sure that we're always having that celebration and also educational opportunities because of that Wisconsin connection.
I think you hit that perfectly. It's not just about, it's a celebration, yes, we're celebrating the earth, right? But there is an educational factor here where there's so much to learn about the resources of the earth, and not everybody gets it, right? Not everybody gets it or doesn't know how to get better at it, right? The sustainability thing. So I love the education piece of this that Nicolet is doing. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm curious too, because you mentioned this has been going on for about a decade now. And I was thinking back, like, all right, 10 years ago for myself, when I thought of sustainability, it was like, okay, I'll not use plastic silverware for when I'm eating lunch.
Straws,
what have you. But I feel like now, as we've kind of learned more and you see kind of what the studies are that are coming out, there's a lot more to it. And is that kind of the case then for you as well, as you've kind of learned over the past few years? Like, there's a lot more that we can do, not only personally, but just as a community as a whole, to kind of go more green or more blue, I guess, in the case of water this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where our partnership with the Northwoods Community Garden has really been a growth and learning opportunity for us, because, you know, that's one of the things that really can be a good way that someone could practice more sustainability in a lot of different ways. Growing your own food is a good practice in that regard. So providing that opportunity through the garden, and then also having that really strong garden presence at the fair, because that's going to be something we're really excited to highlight the garden a little bit more at the fair this year.
Yeah, my co-anchor Dan and I have had a plot at the garden for several years now, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year, right? And it's seriously a place you can go, that it's in the big field out front of Nicolet, and there's just, you know, 80 plots I think there are now, and everybody takes care of their own plot and talks about sustainability. Like, it really is an educational just being there, right? So that's really cool. And then also, you know, with Earth Day coming up here, you know, Nicolet kind of leads the forefront, you know, or kind of keeps the conversation top of mind. And but they don't just speak it, they do it, right? There's things going on at Nicolet that you help conserve energy as well. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, whenever we're, from all phases, right? From the individual actions and some of the practices, such as our culinary department, making sure we're running a compost, to the connection with the Northwoods Community Garden, to making sure that we have high efficiency in our buildings when we're doing any sort of planning and rebuilding. You know, it kind of comes in a lot of different directions.
It shows.
It does. All right, Patrick, I got some more questions I want to ask you about the fair itself, and also kind of how Jeff and I could shrink our carbon footprint.
Not good results.
Not great results for us. But we'll take a quick break on Up North at 4. We'll be right back. after this.
We took a test.
Welcome back to Up North at 4. We're joined by Patrick Burns with Nicolet College, co-chair of the Earth Day Fair, which is coming up in just a few weeks here, Patrick. So we're on that final stretch now, right? Yep. And I know we got to get through this Earth Day Fair, but is there already planning going on for next year? I'm curious.
Oh yeah, there's always
going on.
You know, things that we think of that might not work this year, but we get to kind of keep them ready for the upcoming year. Yeah,
well, that's exciting. And I know you mentioned too, there's going to be a few speakers at the Lakeside Center at Nicolet on April 22nd. What are some of the speakers people could come and listen to?
Yeah, so yeah, we'll be in the Lakeside Center from 1 to 6 p.m. And so at the top of most hours, we're going to have speakers available. So and the topics are going to be around water in different capacities. So some of it's going to be water, you know, quality. Some of it's going to be related to, you know, like shoreline and the stewardship there. And then we will, you know, cover the topic of PFAS and get into that a little bit. So really trying to make sure that we hit a variety of water topics.
Wide array.
And it's not just the speakers, it's also there'll be booths or exhibits up in place too, where you can learn about different parts of, you know, hydrology and water and conservation. Am I correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have vendors all throughout the building, you know, informational, different community organizations as well as businesses sharing their sustainability practices and yeah, just a really wide variety of community involvement. And then we're going to have activities for, you know, family-friendly activities available as well as food and music. So it's a really good time.
Can't go wrong with food and music.
Make it fun.
You do.
As we're talking about this, though, I'm thinking about the people who have, you know, kind of made this happen in the past, right? Where the stigma of conservation isn't really a stigma anymore. It's actually kind of in and hip.
At the forefront,
It's hip to think about the earth and the environment and to how much we use and recycle. And this is a great way to kind of get that message out there and have it be not political. It's not political. It's just a good way to take care of each other and the earth.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when it first started, it was, and I think the tagline was, you know, celebrating alternative, you know, sustainable-minded alternatives in the Northwoods. And now it's really become more mainstream, something that's a little bit more, you know, standard practice, something that everybody's interested in learning about. So it's been great to see that aspect develop.
Yeah, take off, right? And I think, to be honest with you, Patrick, I think Jeff and myself could learn a thing or two. So I want to be fully transparent with you. We decided to take a survey earlier today to kind of see what our carbon footprint would be. And the results are, shall we say, not good?
Not good.
Not great. So essentially the survey would tell you how many Earths it would take to sustain your lifestyle if every single person on the planet lived the same way you do. So I found out that if there was 8 billion Nate Myhawks running around, we'd need 3.7 Earths, and we would run out of our resources in just a couple of days on April 8th. That doesn't seem great, Patrick. It's a little concerning, if I'm being honest.
No, we wouldn't get to the fair, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But it gets worse.
It does. So brace yourself, Patrick, because I also made Jeff do the same exact survey, and Jeff's Earths, if you will, were a little concerning. Let's see if we can't pull up the next slide here showing Jeff's stats.
Oh, look.
Jeff requires 6.5 Earths, and we'd be out of resources on February 25th. Jeff, we wouldn't even get through 2 months.
Right. So now we're starving.
We'd run out of everything. So, not good.
Here's the thing here, though. I was honest with this, right?
You saying I wasn't?
No, I'm saying you were, but I'm just saying I was also, which is scary because, like, I think of myself as someone who conserves where I can, but obviously not enough, right? So I think the message here is we could always do a little more. You know, although it takes 6.5 Earths to sustain me, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
You know how you can work on it and get better?
How?
By going to the April 22nd Earth Day Fair at Nicolet College, right?
Oh, Nate.
So Patrick, one more time before we let you go, where can people find more information and what is going on the 22nd for the folks at home?
Yep, so April 22nd, come to Nicolet College for the Earth Day Fair between 1 and 6 p.m. We also have a website for the garden, who's presenting the fair at northwoodscommunitygarden.com, as well as if you search for Sustainability Northwoods, you're going to find the Earth Day Fair as well.
Perfect.
We love this.
We do.
Thank you.
We do. We love all the work you're doing. And hey, there's one Earth. Protect it. Be better. Don't use 6.5 Earths like Jeff. Thank you so much, Patrick, for coming on. We're going to take a break. Buffy joins us next. That's next on Up North at 4.
Asparagus, right?
Yes.